Hey, what's going on? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ariel Morel, and I'm a former bank VP responsible for originating over $100 million in business loans. And on this channel, I show you exactly how you can do the same for your business and how you can make money by helping others do the same. And today I'm breaking down how I made over $40,000 by helping a client get access to over $468,000 worth of business funding. And on this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to obtain the client, the funding strategy behind it, and exactly how I got paid, so maybe you could do the same. So let's go. How I found the client. Super simple. You see, the way that I do this business, I do not cold call. I like to put myself in positions where I already know that my clients are going to be located. So one key strategy that I use to find a lot of my clients is I go to the local chamber of commerce. You see, every city has a local chamber of commerce. Sometimes they might have even 3 to 5 different ones. You have the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the African American Chamber of Commerce, your traditional Chamber of Commerce, you name it. Like there's in some cities, you can probably find more than 20 or 30 different ones. And the whole purpose of the Chamber of Commerce is to help connect entrepreneurs in the area and to incentivize entrepreneurship. And these chambers of commerce, they hold monthly events. One event that I tend to frequent for the ones that I'm a member of or not a member of, they do a monthly mixer or a monthly meetup. And on this mixer, I usually just go with some business cards and start having some conversations. I'm not really being salesy, it's just simply, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm in real estate. And then when they ask me, what do I do, right? I always try to make the conversation about them. Oh, I'm a business loan broker. I help entrepreneurs get access to capital. And usually the entrepreneur, their face tends to light up. Why? Because entrepreneurs always need access to capital. It might not be today, but it's definitely gonna be tomorrow. In some cases, they might need capital like right at that moment. So when they meet somebody that has relationships with banks and has experience in helping people get approved, then their eyes tend to light up and then they wanna connect with you, right? So that's exactly what I did at that event. And that's exactly how I met this client. Super nonchalant. I just introduced myself. And that client had a dire need for capital. And it turns out that he could not get access to the capital on his own. He didn't know where to go. He had already tried a couple banks and those banks declined him. So thankfully, he met me. And right at that event, I told him, hey, let's connect next week. And I'm gonna do a free funding assessment to see how I can actually help you. And on that funding assessment, I'm not really selling the client. I'm generally just trying to help. Because if I find a client that I genuinely believe they can get their funding on their own, I just tell them, hey, go to your local bank. And if you're not able to get funding from them, then come back to me. Anyway, so how do I conduct the funding assessment? With the funding assessment, I'm just trying to see if I can actually help the client. So there's no sales pitch, there's no pressure for the client. I'm generally just asking questions to understand, to see exactly what they do and see what they need the money for and to see if they even qualify. And this specific client was in the transportation and logistics industry, which is already a really tough industry to fund. Why? Because it's rapidly growing, there's a low barrier to entry, and there's way too many new businesses in that area, so the banks don't know if that business is going to be successful or not. That and plenty of other reasons, but anyway, it's just a tough business to fund, so that's why he was having issues getting access to the capital, and he needed to buy more bands to fulfill a contract that he had just obtained. And also some working capital. So although it's a big opportunity for the client, it's actually high risk for the bank because believe it or not, banks don't like when a business is growing super fast because they don't know if that growth is going to be sustainable. I know this because I used to work inside the banks and I know exactly how the underwriters think. Now, let's talk about the funding strategy. So for this specific client, I had to get creative. I know I could not take him to traditional Main Street banks, so I used a 2-part funding strategy. His funding goal was $1 million, but something that I tend to do with my clients is that I show them what they truly qualify for based on their current cash flow. Right? A bank is not gonna lend you $10 million if they only believe that you can actually pay like $2 million, right? So the bank's always gonna give you what you actually qualify for. So after I set the right expectation, I told him the most that I could probably get him was up to $600,000, which for me would have been great because the more money that I'm able to get him approved, the more money I make. So I'm incentivized directly to helping get that success. So let's talk about the first part of the funding strategy. You see, because this client was in my city, I was able to utilize one of my local community banking relationships that I already knew the data points that they had to approve clients. I already knew the specific funding programs that they had that I knew my client qualified for after I did my due diligence. And also I knew that they had a $250,000 term loan program, unsecured, with a quick turnaround and without having to provide a lot of documentation, which is great for my client because he had not finished doing his 2024 taxes. He was doing an extension. So after a couple of weeks of going back and forth with the bank and going over to the underwriter, how we're gonna utilize the money, we successfully got our client approved for $250,000. Then at the same time, we're working on a second structure with a CDFI. A CDFI is a community development financial institution. I talk a lot about them in this channel. Now, the second part of the funding structure took way longer because we had to provide a nicely done business plan, financial projections, more documentation, and for them, the deal had to make sense. right? So the customer had a specific purpose for the money, which we were able to help them break it down in a way that the underwriters will like. And that it makes sense because sometimes it's just about letting the bank know exactly what you're trying to do. And they want to see that you have actually thought about how you're going to use the money to get it to production sooner rather than later. So with those two programs, we were able to get this client $468,000, and we have more money that we're trying to get him. We have about one more program that we're going to help him get as well. That's in process right now. So you see the client is ecstatic. He has access to the capital that he can put back into his business to keep growing it. He has an actual need for that capital, and he's going to grab that money and he's going to put it to use. So let's talk about how I got paid. So my total commission was just under $40,000. And there's two ways that I got paid. The first part is by lender pay commission. There are over 13,000 direct lenders in the United States. And most of these banks do not have the market share that some of the big banks have. So they actually are willing to pay loan brokers to bring them clients. Some banks might pay you half a point, which is 0.5%. Some banks are willing to pay you 3%, and some lenders are willing to pay you all the way to 15 points, depending on how expensive the debt is for the client. So in this specific case, I got paid from both lenders, and the rest came from a professional service fee that came from me structuring the deal for them and handling everything from start to finish. Basically, I got paid because of my relationships and knowing exactly where to take him out of the over 17,000 lenders that are in the United States, which nobody has the time to navigate for that. Well, I do because I make money from it. So yeah, all it took was one relationship and a few conversations. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because you can do the same too. Yes, you can become a business loan broker. You do not need a license. You can do this from anywhere in the world. And if you're watching this video and you're somebody that wants to learn how to get funding for yourself, or you want to learn how to become a business loan broker, this is exactly what I teach in my hero community, where you don't need to be a banker. All you have to do is learn how to connect the dots, build relationships with the banks, and then plug yourself or your customers with the right lenders that are looking for that specific client. In the community, we have monthly coaching calls, and we also have a crash course that shows you exactly how to get funding for yourself step by step. So you learn how to speak bank. We give you some lenders that we work with, and we give you about 6 to 7 different funding strategies that are working right now. Plus the support that you get from working with close to 600 other entrepreneurs that are doing the same. And more importantly, we even give you the chance to partner up with us. So you have any deals, we'll be willing to work together with you and pay you a nice fat commission depending on the size of the deal. Some of our members are getting paid 4-5 figures per deal. So if you're serious, check the link in the description, join the community, bring us some deals, or just go in there and get some help if you're looking to get funding for yourself. So you can become a loan hero and then you can make an income with an impact. I'll see you in the next video.